Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate grimit kripatamaham Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya. Hare Krishna. I would like to welcome all of you for our study of Sri Bhagavad Gita. So last week we were discussing the third chapter, the verse numbers from 20, in the before 25, I think till 24 we have discussed, I believe. So we'll continue from 25. So I hope you will be remembering what we have discussed in the last session. Basically, Krishna was speaking about setting right example for the work. Correct? This is what we discussed. Yad yad acharati sreshtas tat tat evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurte lokastat anuvartate. So Krishna said, whatever action a great man performs, common man will follow. And whatever standards someone sets by that exemplary acts, the whole world pursues it. So Krishna said, so we have to be, so leader means should be a good example, should be a very good example for others. Then Krishna said, actually I don't have to do anything because Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He doesn't have to do any of this, nishkama karma or whatever, activities or anything. So, but Krishna said, I am also doing my prescribed work. The reason is that because there are people who will be following him. If he is not doing, Krishna said, if I fail to engage in such activities, what will happen? All people will follow my path and this world will be put in ruination. I would be the cause of unwanted population, Varna Sankara, and I would also destroy the peace of all living beings. Because of that, this will all happen. So I want to work, or I will, even though I don't have to do anything, but I am also engaging in the work or engaging in the activities. In the sense, whenever Krishna was here in this planet, he was, as I mentioned, as we discussed last week also, that Krishna, when he was in Dwaraka, he was doing when he is in Grihastha Ashrama, when he was taking care of his family nicely, even a Kshatriya duties also he was taking care. He was doing that. So that is what we discussed. And finally, also, I hope all of you remember that we have discussed that there is some difference between following and imitating. So Krishna is saying that we have to follow the footsteps of Krishna and other great personalities, and imitation is not possible. Then Srila Prabhupada is giving the example of Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill and Lord Shiva drinking the poison. So both these activities cannot be done by anybody else. Ordinary human being cannot do it. Correct? So we cannot imitate the people like that. However, we can follow them. Follow means what? Following their instructions. Simple. Following the footsteps of great personalities means the one line meaning is that follow their instructions. That's all. We can't imitate. We cannot become Krishna. So people are, sometimes they imitate Krishna. There are so many apasampradayas. Apasampradaya means not proper sampradayas, not authentic sampradayas. See, apasampradayas, they will concoct something and they will do so many things. So there are so many, it is also called a Sahajiya community. So these Sahajiyas, what they do is that they will imitate Krishna. They say that Krishna is dancing with the gopis, so I can also dance with girls. So the person imitate like Krishna, dress like Krishna, and behave like Krishna in the sense in a material way, and then interact or indulge with ladies, and this is vice versa. I'm saying, this is what is happening. So many, so many apasambradayas are there now also. So this is something imitation. So we cannot imitate. Not only imitation, they are portraying Krishna in a wrong way. They don't understand the transcendental nature, the transcendental activities of Krishna. So what is happening in the spiritual world, or what is everything which is connected to Krishna, is completely spiritual. It's not material. People are, what they are doing, they are just doing or trying to do this, or try to imitate such things, but we are so contaminated. We are not transcendental yet. So that is the reason. So it's a very, very big offense actually against the Lord. If you're doing all this, unnecessary, or we can say uh, aparadas, we should be very, very careful. So no imitation. So nobody can imitate. Nobody can be like Krishna. Nobody is like him. He is pure. He is completely transcendental. And we are not like that. We are contaminated. So everything in this material world is perverted reflection. So people try to do so many things in a perverted way, completely opposite way. There is no such thing like lust, or here the material lust or material sex, what we call in this world, that is not at all present in the spiritual world. There is relationship between men and women, however, it is not in a material platform. Here it's completely on a material platform. Everything is based on sense gratification and selfishness. But there, everything is not self-centered. It is Krishna-centered. That is the difference. So there is no lust. There is no material lust in the spiritual world. However, there is love, pure love between people, devotees. That is there. But that is pure. That is Shuddha. We don't even understand what it is actually. What we see here is completely opposite. So we need to understand these things clearly. That is the reason we have to know Krishna's. We need to study Bhagavad Gita. We need to study the scriptures before before reaching the, taking the 10th canto of Sri Krishna, of Lord, who has done so many, Krishna has done so many pastimes. Before entering there, we need to know the tattva. We need to know the philosophy. We need to understand who is Krishna. We need to understand the nature of this world. We should be able to distinguish or understand both are separate things. Whatever we are seeing here and whatever there is completely different. So these things are, we have to be careful, otherwise we'll end up in doing aparadha and it is bad for us only. So anyway, we'll continue from 25. Sakta karmani avidvamso.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sak, Sakta karmani avidvamso
Yadha kurvandi bharata
yata kurvanti bharata
kuryad vidvams tadha saktash
kuryad vidvams tata saktas
chikirshur loka sangraham.
chikirshu loka sangraham. As the ignorant performs their duty with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So the ignorant, as the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to the results. So there are two things. So there are two types of people. I mean, comparison is that one is ignorant, one is learned. Okay, so ignorant, they will also do their duties, but their duties they are doing with attachment to the results. So we have already, Krishna has already taught us that we should not be attached to the results. We should be doing our duties, we should be doing our activities, however, not getting attached to the results of it, right? And doing it as a service to the Lord. This is the right way. So learned and ignorant, the difference is that ignorant will perform the duties with attachment to the results. However, learned may act similarly but without attachment. That's the result. That's the difference. Hmm? And the learned may do it without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path, to be a good example for others. So that is the reason, that is the difference Krishna is saying here. Srila Prabhupada's purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person in Krishna consciousness and a person not in Krishna consciousness are differentiated by different desires. A Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not conducive to development of Krishna consciousness. This is very important. A Krishna conscious person and a normal person. The difference there, what is the difference? Basically, the difference is in their desires. In the desires, there is different. Of course, desires are there for both. We are not saying that Krishna conscious person doesn't have any desire. They also have some desire, but the desire is different, because we cannot be desireless. We cannot be desireless. But what we are desiring, that is something we need to look into. So a Krishna conscious person will desire everything as a service to the Lord, or to please Lord. And a normal person and a person who is not in Krishna consciousness, or not following bhakti, their goal is sense gratification, for their own pleasure, for their own sense gratification. They will do the things. So their desires are only to fulfill their own sense gratification, or only to fulfill their own material sense gratification. That's the desire of non-devotee. But for a devotee, the desire is to how to please the Lord. So both are desires. However, the nature of the desire is different. A Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not conducive to development of. See, Krishna conscious person will not do also anything which is not favorable for bhakti. So Krishna conscious person will do the things which are favorable for bhakti. He may even act exactly like an ignorant person who is too much attached to material activities, but one is engaged in such activities for the satisfaction of his sense gratification, whereas the other is engaged for the satisfaction of Krishna. See, this is the point which we discussed now already. Yeah. So ignorant person, it will be too much attached to material activities and too much attached for sense gratification. However, the devotee, on the other hand, or we can say here in this point, the Krishna conscious person, he will be also engaging in different activities. However, for the satisfaction of Krishna, not for the satisfaction of their own ego. Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act and how to engage the results of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. So this is something which we have to, when we follow Krishna consciousness, we have to understand everything. We have to understand the things properly, and we have to engage in the service of the Lord, right? What we have seen before. So Krishna is telling, and Prabhupada is saying here, that so a Krishna conscious person will also do so many duties and activities and work, but not for their own sense gratification, but for the pleasure of the Lord. And we have to show that, or show the people how to do it also, how to engage in the service of the Lord. So this is very important. So we have once we when we start following it, definitely if others, if they are seeing, they will also understand how to do it. Like for example, when we come to the Krishna conscious, when we start associating with devotees, and when we start practicing bhakti, initially we were not knowing what to do. We were also thinking, okay, I don't understand what is the philosophy, I don't know anything. I'm coming going to the satsang, I have to work, I have I have to focus on my job, I have to do this. So many things are there already in the mind. And but once we start understanding the philosophy, when we start understanding the Krishna consciousness, when we associate with the devotees, slowly our mindset will change. So then also we are working, we are still working, we are also having so many duties to do. However, we are doing it, which is doing in favorable to Krishna consciousness. So that is the difference. So that is the difference. So uh, we have to follow it properly, and we should show others, or we should be a good example for others, so that they can also follow the same. Like Krishna is saying here before, that we have to be a good example. Okay, next verse. Yeah, 26. न बुद्धिभेदं जनयेत्.
Hare Krishna. Uh, Na buddhibedam janayed.
अज्ञानं कर्म संगिनां
Ajnanam karma sanginam.
जोषयेत् सर्वकर्माणि
Joshayet sarva karmani.
विद्वान् युक्ता समाचरन्.
Vidvan yukta samacharan.
Please read.
Yeah. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sort of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So na buddhi vedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam. So Krishna is saying that not to, as not to disrupt the minds of the ignorant man attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So, what is the meaning of this? So, Krishna is telling here that, see, if those who are ignorant, so who are ignorant and who are learned? What we said, what we discussed in the previous verse. Yeah, who is ignorant, who is learned? Yes.
So, ignorant people are those who are not in Krishna consciousness and
Yeah,
they
and
are
correct.
attached to the results of the
Yeah,
activities.
correct. Yeah, thank you. So, ignorant are those who are not, they are attached to the activities of, they are attached to the results of the activities, and who are not in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, thank you, Madhuri. So, here, Sri Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna says, we should not disturb the minds of ignorant men who are attached to the fruitive results. Uh, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities. So it is like Krishna is saying that if those who are not following bhakti, if those who are not following the things properly, like those who are ignorant, those who are too much attached to the, to the karma, like karmis are too much attached to the results, hmm, ordinary people of this world. Uh, so when we meet them, or when we go to them, A learned person, if we are going to them, we should not say, okay, we should not say like that, you are doing a wrong thing, you should not do it. This is not the right way to do. No, like we are stopping, we are trying to stop them from the duty, from the work. Hmm? So Krishna is not encouraging that. He's not saying that we should stop them. However, we should try to engage them somehow, slowly, in different ways, in how to change this to the activity remains same. However, how to change the consciousness and do the same activity in a different in a Krishna conscious way. This has to be taught, and that will take some time also. It's not that in one go everything will change. It will never happen like that. And we should not be fanatic when we go there, when we meet them and saying that, okay, you are doing wrong, you should not do like this is too much, like that. That is not the right way. Let them continue what they do. However, in between, as Krishna said here, let them continue what they are doing, but slowly engage them in Krishna consciousness, or engage their same activities. We are not changing their activities, we are now trying to change their consciousness behind that activity. That's all. Activity remains same. However, we are slowly, gradually helping them to come out of it. So this is how we should do, not abruptly disturb or stop or saying this is wrong, this is not too much. Then people will not, you know, will not be appreciating this. They will run away because see, all of us are, even those who are practicing bhakti, we know how much we are attached to the things of this world, how much we are attached. Still we are struggling to get out of this attachment, correct? And now if you are going to someone who is not at all chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, who is not at all in Krishna consciousness, who is completely new to all this, we are telling them, okay, don't do this, do that, this is wrong, this is wrong as per scripture. What is this? They will run away. So we have to be intelligent. We should use our intelligence and guide them properly, and not abruptly, but in a slow way. Gradually we need to bring them to the point of Krishna consciousness. So that is what Krishna is saying. See, nice. So as not to disturb the minds of ignorant men, attach the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sort of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So we have to slowly give some medicines, and gradually we have to bring them in the process of in the path of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Let's read. Vedescha sarver ahameva vedya. That is the end of all Vedic rituals. All rituals, all performances of sacrifices, and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction of the mental activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. So, Vedaischa sarver means all Vedas, Sarva Vedas, all the Vedas, all the Shastras are meant to Aham eva Vedya, means to understand Krishna. So Vedas or scriptures are meant or given to all of us to understand who is Krishna. So understanding who is Krishna includes understanding who are we, understanding, it also includes understanding what is our connection with Krishna, right? And also we'll understand what is our actual duty to do, or what we are actually supposed to do. By understanding that relationship with Krishna, what we are supposed to do. So everything includes that. So Vedas or Shastras are meant for that. That is what Srila Prabhupada says. This is from the Bhagavad Gita verse 15:15. All rituals, all performance of sacrifice, everything that is put into the Vedas, including the direction of all mental activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. See, understanding Krishna, that's the goal of life. And Vedas are actually meant for that. But because the conditioned souls do not know anything beyond sense gratification. They study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification, regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. So Prabhu was saying that people, conditioned soul, they do not know anything beyond sense gratification. Everybody is thinking that sense gratification is the ultimate goal of life, right? So they are not thinking anything. So Krishna Prabhu saying that through fruitive activities, okay, no problem. Let us do your activities for some sense gratification, or in the sense for or having some attachment to the result, no problem. But it should be regulated by Vedic rituals. It's not, without any kind of scriptural connection, we can't do that. Is then that will become a sin. That will become a vikarma, or that will become a big, offense. So what Prabhupada is saying that, what Krishna also saying that, let them continue the fruitive activities, no problem. However, it should be regulated by Vedic rituals. It should be mentioned, or it should be like something which is mentioned in the Vedas. Hmm? In the sense, because we know that Vedas are having different sections, and some of the sections of Vedas talking about karma kanda, like, or this all kind of do this ritual, do this yajna, you will get the benefit. So that is there mentioned in some part of the Vedas for some class of people. So let them follow the Vedas, which is in line with the fruitive activities, no problem. But that will gradually elevate them in Krishna consciousness. However, if they are not following anything from the Vedas, even though if it is fruitive activities, let it be in line with the Vedas. If it is not, which is connected to the Vedas, then that will be a problem. So what we need to do, first of all, we have to follow, practice everything. If we are going and inspiring, trying to inspire others, we have to see their status. We have to see in what stage they are in now, and slowly, gradually, we need to give them. So give them the Krishna consciousness thing. So slowly, let them first get connected to the Vedas, or something which is connected to the scriptures. Then gradually they will be elevating in Krishna consciousness. But if they are doing something wrong, vikarma, against the Vedic literatures, then that we need to correct them. We will try to correct them. Otherwise, they will be doing more and more problem. They'll be doing more and more aparadhas, and it will be a problem for them only. So Krishna says, Prabhupada says, therefore a self-realized soul in Krishna consciousness should not disturb others in their activities or understanding, but he should act by showing how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of Krishna. So we can teach others. First, we have to practice it. We should follow. Then we can teach. We can, show how we are engaging the results, or how we are dedicating our work in the service of the Lord. So if we are not doing that, then we cannot show also, right? So we have to follow that first. And we have to, as Prabhupada mentioned, that we have to show how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of the Lord. That's what the learned person does. The learned Krishna conscious person may act in such a way that ignorant person working for sense gratification may learn how to act and how to behave. Although the ignorant man is not to be disturbed in his activities, a slightly developed Krishna conscious person may directly be engaged in the service of the Lord without waiting for other Vedic formulas. For this fortunate man, there is no need to follow the Vedic rituals, because by direct Krishna consciousness, one can have the results of one who one would otherwise derive from the following one's prescribed duties. So what Prabhupada is saying, there are two things. So Krishna, you can see in the verse itself, Krishna is telling that we should not disturb those who are ignorant, those who are attached to the fruits. Let them continue their work, but try to engage them slowly, gradually, in the direction of Krishna consciousness. That's what Krishna is telling. However, our acharyas telling, Prabhupada also telling that, yeah, that's the normal way to do it. However, there are some highly advanced devotees, they can even, completely uproot that kind of mentality, that ignorant mentality from some people, from such people, and give Krishna consciousness directly. So that is also possible. So, but not everybody can do that actually. So those who are empowered, they can do. Like Prabhupada, what Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada, in a very short time, in the US, in the 70s, those who were hippies, they became devotees very, very easily, right? So Prabhupada was strictly saying that, Prabhupada, told them, stop this, you should not eat meat, you should not do the intoxication. But then he said that at the same time he gave Krishna consciousness profusely. He gave blessings because Prabhupada was so empowered, and they were completely transformed in a very short time. But for us, as general people, like practitioners, for us, first of all, we have to follow it properly, and slowly, gradually, we can engage others also in the service. So it is like that. So two things we have to. So actually, the pure devotees are going one step ahead of even what Krishna is saying. They are not going against Krishna's words, but they are going beyond one step of Krishna's word. Why? The reason is that the devotees are so merciful, the pure devotees are so merciful that they want to see everybody as devotees. So they are profusely giving Krishna consciousness in and out, not waiting for them to get, do some Vedic rituals for some time, then you practice this. No, straight away giving Hare Krishna Mahamantra, straight away giving, bhakti, the creeper of the bhakti, so that they are catching it and they are going up. So, devotees are, the pure devotees are, sadhus or pure devotees are more compassionate. Of course, Krishna is compassionate, but they are more compassionate. So it's not that why Krishna is not telling we should be doing like that. Like as I mentioned, like the pure devotees, they are going one step ahead. Krishna could have told that in the Bhagavad Gita itself, but he is not telling because not there are not many people like that. The empowered people are very less, right? So Krishna knew that that is the glory of my devotee. They will go one step ahead. I don't have to tell. Even though I say don't disturb, those who are already attached to fruitive activities, but my pure devotees are so merciful. Like Narada Muni, just take the example of Narada Muni. He is going straight to Mrigari and transforming him in one go. He did not say, okay, engage, do follow some Vedic rituals first, and and then wait for 6 months or 9 months, 10 months. No, nothing. Giving Hare Krishna Mahamantra straight, telling him, chant Hare, stop all the sins, stop all the sinful activities. First he said. Then he said, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, do Tulsi Puja. That's all. Two things you do, you will be delivered. And he started doing it, then he was completely transformed in a very short time. So Krishna's pure devotees are very, very merciful. So Krishna knew this. So he is keeping something for the pure devotees secretly. He is not giving for the common public, because Bhagavad Gita is for everybody. Mhm. So he is just keeping something secretly so that the pure devotees can take it. They will take it up anyway from there. So let's do one more verse. This is very important and beautiful verse 27. Prakrite kriya karmani
Krishna, Prakrite Kriyamanani,
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः
Gunai Karmani Farvashaha,
अहङ्काराविमूढात्मा
Ahankara Vimudatma,
Kartaham iti manyate.
Kartaham iti manyate. Translation: the spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So here, Lord is saying, this is very nice verse. Prakrite kriyamanani. Kriyamanani means being performing. Who is doing who is performing the things like prakrite. Prakrite means material nature. Prakrite kriyamarmani gune karmani sarvasha. Actually, these activities are done by the modes of material nature. What are the guna? Gunas means three gunas. Sattva-raja-tamo. Sattva-guna, tamo-guna, rajoguna. So, ahangara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. But the people are thinking that I am the doer. They think that ahangara vimuda means bewildered by the false ego, thinking that I am the doer, I am the karta. Kartaham iti manyate. They are thinking that I am the doer of this activity. So, but Krishna says, you are not the doer, we are not the doer. Actually, it is the modes of material nature. So basically, this is, we need to understand that whatever is happening uh, is being done by the modes of material nature. Okay, of course, we are also involved in that, no doubt. However, it is being dictated, or we can say it is being formulated and executed by the modes of nature. Whatever we do. So if we are in Krishna consciousness, then there is difference. If you are not Krishna consciousness, if you are not in bhakti, then problem is that then it will be completely based on the guna. The whatever activity we are doing, it will be based on the three gunas. The three gunas will be doing it. So Prabhupada explains that here. Let's see. Two persons, one in Krishna consciousness, another in material consciousness, working on the same level, may appear to be working on the same platform, but there is a wide gulf of difference in their respective positions. We already discussed this before also, right? A person who is in Krishna consciousness and a person who is in material consciousness, the work or activity may look same, but there is difference in their consciousness. A person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. Correct? This is, we all know. So one who is in material consciousness is thinking that I am the doer because of the false ego, thinking that I am this body, I am the doer, it's me, it's me. He does not know that the mechanism of the body is produced by material nature, which works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. So that kind of connection they don't know. So those who are in material consciousness, they do not know the supervision of the Supreme Lord. They do not know the mechanism of this material nature. That is the difference. So they think that I am the doer. A materialistic person has no knowledge that ultimately he is in the under the control of Krishna. So they don't know that all of us are under the control of Krishna. Actually, we are, correct? But the materialistic person doesn't know that. He will always think that I am the doer, I am the controller of everything. I can do whatever I wish. They are thinking in that way. The person in false ego takes all credits for doing everything independently, and that is a symptom of nescience. He does not know that this gross and subtle body is the creation of material nature and under the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in the service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada says one who is in false ego or one who is in material consciousness, they will take all the credits for what they are doing. they will take all the credits for doing everything. They think that I'm independent, I can do everything. So Prabhupada says this is a symptom of nescience. Nescience means again ignorance only. He does not know that this gross and subtle body is a creation of material nature. So they don't know anything. What is gross body, what is subtle body, and what are the modes of material nature. And they don't know everything is under the Supreme Personality of Godhead's control. So we have to engage everything in the service of the Lord. These things they don't know. So ignorant man forgets that the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is known as Rishikesha, or the master of the senses of the material body. For due in his long misuse of the senses in sense gratification, he is factually bewildered by false ego, which makes him forget his eternal relationship with Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying that he is bewildered by false ego. False ego means understanding ourselves as the body. So there is no spiritual connection in that consciousness, in that thought process. So bewildered by false ego, everything is me and me and I and me and I means this body, they think. So, and they are forgetting, they have already forgotten the relationship with eternal relationship with Krishna, and they don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is who is Rishikesha. Rishikesha means the master of the senses, actually. So master of the senses means the controller of the senses, basically. So means everything is in Krishna's control, basically. This the ignorant people don't know. So we need to understand here. Here spirit soul bewildered by false ego means spirit soul mean is our actual identity, right? So we are covered by material body. We are covered by material body. We means we spirit souls. We are covered by the material body, and this material body will act in as per the false as per the modes of the nature, material nature. So that is the reason, because spirit soul, the material body cannot do anything without spirit soul, right? Or without Paramatma also. Without Atma Paramatma, there is no the bodies will not function. Body will not function. Body will be dead. Correct. So here we need to understand by the influence of false ego, thinking that we are the doer, and but they will think that we are the doer, but no, there is no connection with the Lord or nothing. They say that okay, I'm the doer, but three modes of material nature, what it is, they don't know. But Krishna is saying that actually the three modes of material nature is carrying, I mean, directing us in many directions. Of course, it is Krishna under Krishna's control only. By the way, we should understand the three modes of material nature is not separate from Krishna. Basically, everything is connected to the Lord. However, this material world, this material nature is designed in such a way that there is influence of three modes of nature. That is how this material world has been designed. Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, these three gunas are there in this material world. So whatever we do, it generally becomes in one of those modes or a combination of the modes. And even our nature also, our Swabhava also, it will be in any of these modes or combinations of these modes. So it is like that. It is natural, quite natural, because the material world is designed in such a way. However, we can go beyond this. It is possible. This is nature. Naturally, or ordinary people, conditioned souls, they are completely influenced by these modes of nature. However, we can go one step above that when we start practicing bhakti, when we start doing Krishna consciousness, devotional services in Krishna consciousness. Then what will happen? We will go above the modes. Then the modes will not act on us. So that is what we are trying to do now. So all this Krishna consciousness activities, bhakti, devotional service is above the modes of material nature, and we have to come out of this material nature. But Krishna, what he's saying is that general principle. Anything in this material world is functioning because of the three modes of material nature. And Krishna says we have to go beyond these modes. That he will tell later. We should not be stuck in this, modes of mental nature. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we will continue the next verse in the next session. Okay, I'm going to stop here. If we have any comments, any reflections, or any questions, we can discuss for a few minutes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.